Division leaders face off in Los Angeles. The Nats belted 10 homers in a series win against the Mariners and finished August with the best record in the league. The Dodgers are loaded with star power built to make a deep run in October. A series worth watching every moment. And Gio is geared up for the start in Game 1. From the cool of Seattle to the heat of LA, welcome to Dodger Stadium, Southern California, on a gorgeous Labor Day evening. It's going to be tough for the hitters tonight, starting at 5:10 local time, but these are two elite ball clubs getting together for a very important three-game series. FP along in a moment. You look at the Nats, you look at the Dodgers. I pulled out the National League offensive stat sheet a couple of hours ago. There are numerous names from both ball clubs all over that stat sheet. So the Nats have the same number of wins as the Dodgers, 2 games in hand. Atlanta, no hit today. Nats lead by 6.5. Look at the run differentials, 2 of the most impressive totals in the league. And, of course, you know when you play the Dodgers, it all starts with pitching. Kershaw tomorrow, Roberto Hernandez tonight, and Gio Gonzalez for the Nats. So we look at a ballpark that is so great, so much history here. And a kid named Harper had his major league debut here a couple of years ago. And he also had a really great weekend in Seattle.
Yeah, it's starting to lock in a little bit. It all started with those base hits up the middle. His approach has changed. The balance is in his swing. He was taking his hits, and then a few mistakes were shot out of the yard, especially in Seattle where he had the great series, 6 for 11, 3 home runs, 3 RBIs, a walk. But more importantly, the strength is back in his hand. The swing isn't as high-powered as it was before. It's almost effortless, and the ball's jumping off his bat. So it was a max effort swing. Now it's a minimal effort swing, and the ball is really flying off the bat of Bryce Harper. He likes the Dodgers. He grew up a Dodgers fan. He's playing in Dodger Stadium. Looking for big things from Bryce in this series. And Carp in September, if he stays hot, the Nats could run away with this.
Yeah, Harper now doing what he does. Ryan Zimmerman on the horizon, not too far away, and also 6 call-ups today. More on that a little bit later. So the ball club is loaded with talent. Now let's talk about what Bryce went through here a couple of years ago, and again last year. It's been kind of an interesting place for him, this Chavez Ravine.
Yeah, I mean, it has been. I mean, we'll show you what happened. Everybody knows what happened to Bryce Harper. First of all, his first major league hit. A double over Matt Kemp's head, threw his helmet off. Got a lot of flack for that, by the way, but he's in the books, a big leaguer. His first major league hit, the ball to the dugout. And remember before the game, the media frenzy and everybody in the Nats dugout, it was an incredible day here at Chavez Ravine. And then, Carp, we all remember this.
Yeah, the face plant into the scoreboard. Bryce evidently losing track of where he was, ball watching until it was too late. And it was not just the face, but it was all over his body. That thing shook him up for a couple of months.
Yeah, and it took him a long time to get over the fear of the warning track and the wall, but he's past that all now. You know, he's moved on, and it's nice to see him be confident in the outfield when he approaches the wall. But that messed him up for a long time.
Don't want to be thinking too much about tomorrow night, but Kershaw pitching, you want to grab Game 1 of the series. And Roberto Hernandez has been tough on the Nats. He's beaten them twice this year. While a member of the Phillies, Gio, 6-9. He's pitched well against the Dodgers in his career. More on the Hurlers coming up. for the Nats from Philly to Seattle to L.A. Dodger Stadium, a beautiful site just north of downtown Los Angeles, built into the side of Chavez Ravine. 56,000 seats, unbelievable baseball venue. Let's talk about Gio. He's actually pitched well against the Dodgers twice in his career with a 1.50 ERA. And obviously, FP, the key for him, getting ahead, keeping the bases empty if he can, because when he can do that, his stuff makes him almost untouchable.
Well, keep throwing strikes, especially D. Gordon. We talked about it the last time the Nats played the Dodgers. The leadoff hitters, for me, the key in this series. If you can keep D. Gordon off the base for the Dodgers, you got a chance to beat him. He's been struggling lately, so is Matt Kemp, so is Yasiel Puig. So he's got a lineup that's a little banged up, not swinging the bats as well as they'd like to, and the game plan is to go right after him and be aggressive with the fastball, see if he can execute it.
Well, today's September 1st. On August 1st, Roberto Hernandez beat the Nats at Nationals Park 2-1. Washington had 7 hits that night, and they hit about 5 or 6 other balls right at Philadelphia defenders. So here he is as a Dodger.
Well, last time he faced him, like you said, he had a horseshoe in his back pocket. Let's go with it. We'll see what he does here today. Professional guy, shaves corners, throws a lot of changeups. The Nats have seen him, so we'll see what happens.
He's 2-1 in 4 starts with the Dodgers, 8-9 overall. So Dodger Stadium, Manny Pacquiao is here getting ready for a big fight over in China. The Nats are here getting ready for a big fight right here. How about Sandy Koufax in the house? Ball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by visitannapolis.org. Find it here. So Bryce Harper's had some interesting times on the road lately. He's had some interesting times, to say the least, as we chronicled earlier here at Dodger Stadium. So Hernandez takes the mound. As I mentioned, 2-1, 3.52 in 4 starts as a Dodger. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. So 48% humidity, very comfortable. 85 degrees. It's a warm evening in L.A. Anthony Rendon on the road trip, having a great time. 8 for 24, 5 of those hits in Seattle. And even though he went 0 for yesterday, he still drove in a couple of runs and was on base 6 times, scoring twice in the series against the Mariners. So here's Roberto Hernandez, 67 and 91 career.
Yeah, fastball average is 90, slider 84, changeup 83 miles an hour. He loves the changeup at 25% of the time. He'll throw it anytime, anywhere. Shadows going to be a factor, so here we go. 17 games over 500 versus 19 games over 500. First place versus first place. Let's do this.
Yeah, how better to simulate a possible playoff game than play somebody like the Dodgers, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon local time. So we're underway right at 5:10 local. And a little bit inside to Denard Span, who's 11 for 38 career against Hernandez. 2 doubles, 2 triples, 3 walks. It's a .289 matchup batting average. Low and inside. Junior member of the umpiring crew has the plate, Martin Ripperger. Ted Barrett, crew chief. 18th year at first base. Paul Schreiber, 17th year. Alfonso Marquez, his 16th. Great veteran crew. And Span looks at another one outside. So 3-0 to the leadoff hitter here. Denard with an on-base percentage of .349.
Yeah, we'll talk about the shadows a lot tonight, but my philosophy always was in the shadows to be less than aggressive. Well, why try to be aggressive on something you're not seeing as well as you're used to? Right now, it's okay. As soon as those shadows kind of get behind Hernandez a little bit more and the backdrop is all in the sun, then it begins to get tough. But it's not easy right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. This one of the ballpark's carport's the toughest. And I think it's because it's so high in the back behind home plate, the stadium.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Highest grandstand in all of baseball. And now battling back to get the count full is Hernandez, whose control numbers aren't that great. 144 innings this year, 90 strikeouts, but 63 walks. And Span looking for hit number 158. Unfortunately, hit right at Adrian Gonzalez.
Pretty good at bat. 6 pitches, saw a lot, made Hernandez work. Let's set the defense for the Dodgers tonight. Van Slyke, Puig, Kemp, the outfield. Ramirez, Uribe, left side. Gordon, Gonzalez, right side. And A.J. Ellis behind the plate.
Yasiel Puig leads the league with 10 outfield assists. And, of course, Matt Kemp, a right fielder now. They've got Scott Van Slyke in left. So a guy with amazing range and a big-time arm, a lot of room to roam in a ballpark like this.
Well, I was talking to Bob Senley today, and he was saying they'll test Puig because his accuracy hasn't been the best lately.
Yeah, no doubt about the strength. Is it on target? We'll see. Anthony Rendon, 1 for 7 career against Hernandez. By the way, he's creeping up a couple of lists as well. With 148 hits, top 9 in the league. He's back on the doubles train with 34. That's number 6. And that, of course, adds up to the extra base hits and the runs. And the fastball just outside. Dodgers staff, 3.30 ERA, 4th best in the league. The Nats atop the National League at 3.13. '86 dropping in 2-2.
I almost think watching Hernandez 3 times already this year that he likes to fall behind. And what do I mean by that? Well, he doesn't throw fastballs in 2-1, 2-0, 3-1 counts. Makes a living out of getting behind in the count and throwing off speed for strikes. I say the same thing about Tom Glavine. I thought he tried to get behind the count at times to get you aggressive with him in a 2-0 count and then flip the changeup in there, roll over it.
That's some thought when you really think about it.
Yeah.
Letting the other guy get too aggressive. And a 3-2. That is right on the corner, and Rendon takes it.
Well, that's what he does. Just backdoors the fastball, shaves corners, tries to stay out of the middle, and that was a perfect pitch.
Jason Worth coming off a 320 August. Nats, by the way, their best month. You probably already knew that. 9 games over at 19-10. Their previous was 17-11 in June. So September baseball is here. And here's a guy who was with the Dodgers early in his career, Jason Worth. He's 4 for 9 against Hernandez. Taking some great swings against him. Jason had 3 hits and a couple of walks in Seattle. '87 slider right in there. Jason Worth was traded to the Dodgers by Toronto for pitcher Jason Frazier back in March of '04. He had 262 and 89 games here in 04, and then 234 the other year. And then in 06, Jason didn't play at all. Had a really bad wrist injury. And with the Dodgers, his numbers over 191 games. He went from here to Philadelphia and pretty much established his career there. STG with some numbers on Worth. And he'll chop it to the left side. May 5, 6, and 7. The Nationals took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. First game was 4-0 behind Jordan Zimmerman. Aaron Barrett got the win. Kershaw, his second win of the year, beat the Nats 8-3. And then Steven Strasburg beat Dan Herron 3-2 in the rubber game of that series. By the way, Dan Herron no longer starting the Wednesday game. They're going to realign their rotation so that their big three can pitch against the Giants later this month.
Giants are coming hard, and the Dodgers are feeling it.
Yeah.
A little sinker up and in. Jason Worth trying to get out of the way. Getting a piece of his bat.
So Dan Herron a little later this week. And that one floating up and in at 92. Another long count. Now right now the Dodgers 2-game lead with the Giants already completing a suspended game today. And they're leading, well, they are leading 7-6 in the 7th inning of the regularly scheduled game at Colorado. Worth puts a big time charge into that one. See you later. Deep center field. Number 16. The Nats blast out on top again here on the West Coast.
From July 23rd to August 1st, the Nats went homerless for 9 straight games. In 29 games since, they've hit 41 home runs. And there goes the no-hitter in a big way. Jason Worth rattling the West Coast, putting the Nats up 1-0.
Hernandez, 12th homer of the year given up, and here's LaRoche.
I mean, they're forgetting how to manufacture runs or just hitting them in the seats lately. It's Tater City on this road trip. 10 home runs against the Mariners, and the first knock of the Dodgers series goes in the seats. So make it 11 home runs on the West Coast and counting.
186 in the career of Jason Worth. And now LaRoche will chop one off to the right side, 1-2.
I think I just heard a small cheer from about 500 miles north.
That's RBI number 76 for Worth, tying him with Ryan Braun and Lucas Duda for 8th in the league. LaRoche 1 for 5 career against Hernandez with a base on balls. With that home run now, Worth 5 out of 10 against the right-hander. And LaRoche hit it out to right. D. Gordon on the shift. No problem. Big time noise, big time contact from Jason Worth. This ballpark is large, and he made it play less than that, way out in left center. Jason Ward putting the Nats on top, and now it's time for Gio to go to work against one of the tougher lineups in all of baseball. The Dodgers are hitting .260. Only Colorado has a higher batting average. They're 5th in runs. They've only hit 99 home runs, but look out, facing Juan Uribe. He loves to work on Labor Day, evidently, hitting .458 on this day. And he's also 3 for 11 career with a home run against Gio Gonzalez. 3rd career start for Gio against the Dodgers.
You know, Gio early likes to feel for his fastball and read how the opponent is reacting to it. If he sees late swings or he gets some swing through, he gets confidence in that fastball as the game goes. There's been times in the last 3 or 4 starts where he's seen the opponent hit his fastball, and that's when he starts going to change up in the curve more often. But you know, you'll watch. If he's feeling confident, he'll start pounding the zone with that heater, regardless of the readings on the gun. So we'll see how it goes tonight. And the key for me is keeping this guy in the box off the base the whole series.
Leads the major leagues in steals. And Gio, bad throw. LaRoche digs it out.
Kind of alligator on that throw.
Well, you want to be in a hurry because the guy's fast, but you don't want to rush it too much. He had plenty of time.
Well, I think he spun around and saw that he was a little bit closer than he thought. But don't worry. He's got you.
Hanley Ramirez. 0 for his last 8, hitting .270, steps in. He's 2 for 9 career against Gio Gonzalez.
Talked to some Nats coaches today, Carp, and they said they are flat going to take away the bunt from D. Gordon the whole series. They're going to play the corners in. They're going to have him breathe down his throat and make him swing because he's scuffling with the bat.
Yeah, 0 for his last 12 now with that out. So here's Hanley, 13 homers, 60 RBIs. And almost all of that damage with the Marlins when he was at times unstoppable. Funny, as soon as the Nats got rid of him, here came Giancarlo Stanton. So somebody from Miami's always there to torment the Nationals. Ramirez has missed 30 games this year. And the Gio breaking ball is in the dirt.
When you talk to Dodgers people, it's been all about the pitching. The offense has been hit and miss. There's been lots of injuries, including Ramirez missing a lot of time. Juan Uribe missing a lot of time. Don Mattingly's club has done it on the mound.
And a ball chopped to the left side. Rendon on the move. And plenty of time to Adam LaRoche, 2 down.
Here's your defense tonight for the Nationals behind Gio Gonzalez. Harper, Span, Worth, your outfield. Desmond Rendon, left side. Cabrera, LaRoche, right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the dish.
Wilson Ramos, a couple of hits, 2 home runs in Seattle. There's Adrian Gonzalez hitting .279. It's about 15 points under his career batting average. Last year he hit 22 homers here, drove in 100. And he's on that same sort of pace. Pretty 6-game hitting streak.
Yeah, pretty locked in, right?
12 for 24. And the breaking ball a little bit short. Gonzalez against Gio. Yeah, Adrian against Gio. 2 for 12. And the fastball misses away with 94. Dodgers at home, rather mediocre 34 and 32. They are 15 games over 500 on the road. They've also dominated the West. They're 16 over in their own division.
In my experience as a Dodger, it was refreshing at times to get on the road and get away from a suffocating media. It can be brutal here, believe it or not. And some of these guys, at least when I played here, we like to get on the road and get in those gray unis.
Clayton Kershaw, the kind of guy that maybe nothing bothers. He's got the right kind of personality to pitch in a place like here or New York?
Yeah, he didn't care.
Yeah. Who cares when you're 16-3 with a 1.73 ERA? Gio misses away, and he's not happy. I think Gio thought he had a strike on the ball 3 call, and he did get a strike to fill the count. And Mercedes-Benz, I think, will show this one a bit away.
I think you're right, Cart. This one's away, but there were some close ones in the mix. You see the reaction from Gio.
So here's Matt Kemp, as mentioned, now the right fielder for the Dodgers. Played 41 games in center, and tonight playing his 37th in right. He's also been in left field for 44 games. They're just trying to keep him in one piece. When he's healthy and swinging, it's kind of a completion of this Dodger lineup.
It's officially the first hitter I've heard walk up to Lionel Richie, too, this year. So he's got that going for him.
Did you hear Ramirez stealing Tyler Clippard's music a minute ago? And that one tails outside, count even 1-1.
They're saying Kemp is having trouble with the fastball away. And you remember in years past, the Nats would really crowd him in with the heater, not let him get extended, pound him on the inner half.
That ball's hit a ton. Opposite field. And a walk and a blast, the worst possible combination for a pitcher. It's number 17 for Kemp, and the Dodgers are on top.
Location mistake all the way. It was supposed to be in. It was right down the middle, and Kemp got all of it. So an answer from the Dodgers, big time. Watch where Ramos is set up. Watch where the pitch is. About a glove and a half mistake. They wanted to bury it in. Gio threw it right down the middle, and Matt Kemp, whose pop is the other way, shows everybody. That's where I hit him. Home run number 17 for Kemp.
174th of his career. And here's Scott Van Slyke. That's the Dodgers' 100th home run of the year. Only the Padres and the Cardinals have hit fewer. Nats have hit 127. Here's Van Slyke, who's 9 for his last 21. Doesn't play every day, but I think it tells you something when he's in the lineup and he's hitting behind Kemp and ahead of Yasiel Puig. It's going pretty good.
That home run to me is a byproduct of the reaction to the Gonzalez walk.
Changeup strikes out Van Slyke.
You can't let one pitch affect you.
Well, Gio walks his 52nd hitter of the year, and he gives up his 10th home run. Bryce Harper and Dodger Stadium. It's been an interesting relationship. He's coming up. Have a look at the top of the second inning. Our freight rail works due up, and what Desmond Harper and Ramos have done against the National League West. The Nats are 22-8 against the West, by far their best percentage against any division. 6-1 against Arizona, 5-1 Colorado, 2-1 Dodgers, 4-3 Padres, 5-2 Giants. So they've been able to beat this division both at home and on the road. And now they're behind. It'll be Desmond Harper Ramos, top second. Matt Williams, shortstop, coming out of the San Diego series, 3 for 13. 10 for his last 30. Lays off the slider, saw it well. Desmond career against Hernandez, 2 for 6.
So Matt Williams was a Dodger killer back in his day. 35 career home runs against the Dodgers. The only team he hit more was against the Phillies, 39. And some big ones too.
That ball just got enough run to jam Ian Desmond. Hanley Ramirez takes care of it. Here's Bryce Harper.
Number 34, Bryce Harper.
And that's the first time in Los Angeles they've booed anything from Las Vegas.
Came out of the dugout today. I said, wait, who are you?
Clean shaven?
Yeah. I said, you actually look your age. I like it.
Fastball tails outside. Bryce against Hernandez, 1 for 3.
He said, just changing it up a little bit. I said, all right, I'm in.
Takes the changeup. Harper seeing the ball well. So as FP mentioned, 6 of 11 against Seattle. 3 solo home runs, a walk in that series. And he takes one right down the middle.
This ballpark will play small while the temperatures are still high. It's supposed to get down into the low 70s tonight. So right now warm. Day games of ballpark, the ball carries well. But once it gets dark and that marine layer comes around, then this place plays huge. So a couple of guys taking advantage of some good conditions to hit in as far as the ball carrying right now. But it's still tough to see.
And a pitch up. Harper couldn't get to it. Second strikeout, Roberto Hernandez. How about renewing now if you're a national season plan holder? You have until September 5th. That's Friday to purchase your 2014 postseason tickets. You can also upgrade your season plan for next year. Receive upgraded postseason seats. Nationals.com/renew to check it all out. Well, she's hoping for a game-tying swing here.
And
Wilson Ramos.
And a refill.
First things first, get the game tied. Ramos, 8 of his 9 home runs on the year in the 45 games since he came back from his second time on the DL. A walk, 0 for 2 against Hernandez, and that's outside. Counts even 1-1. All-time as the Nats. Our ball club, 22-34 against the Dodgers. One of those 3 clubs they had a hard time beating last year. 1-5 against LA, 0-6 St. Louis, and 3-16 against Atlanta. The Nats have turned the tables on that somewhat this year. And a good take by Ramos on a slider that didn't miss by much. Next home run will put him into double digits. And this is high in the air, not a play right side.
I talked to Dodgers people about Hernandez. They said he's just been a perfect fit here in L.A. with all the injuries they've had to their starting rotation, guys going down. Just the veteran calming presence that he has, a guy that really has a good idea of what to do, especially in a pennant race. Kind of an unflappable character, and he's been a perfect fit.
Dodgers play Ramos absolutely straight away, and he bangs that one down to third for Juan Uribe. And that's going order in the top of the second.
To the bottom of the second inning. I want to show you something. This happens often with Gio, to where he throws a ball and has a big react to it. So he's a guy that shows you his emotions. You never have to guess what he's thinking. But 3 pitches later, he leaves one right down the middle to Matt Kemp. So I don't know. I can't get in Gio Gonzalez's head if that ball 4 to Adrian Gonzalez affected that pitch to Matt Kemp. But as a pitcher at the major league level, you can't let a missed call affect you when you have a lineup like the Dodgers, where it's just going to be one hitter after another roll into the batter's box. I don't know if that was the case, but it was a big reaction for a ball 4 in the first inning.
Here's Yasiel Puig to lead off the second, and he's early count swinging. Adam LaRoche turns around. The ball was already on the way for Asdrubal Cabrera for the first out.
Third base, number 5, Juan Uribe.
Juan Uribe will be next. And you mentioned his injury. This guy left the Giants to come down here a couple of years ago. At first, it didn't look like a good move for him, but he's settled in here well, and he's been one of the Dodgers' more consistent hitters when he's been healthy. Big part of that first Giants World Championship team.
I would think it'd be hard to go anywhere else when you win a championship with any ball club the next year, you know? You have so many special moments winning a World Series with whoever it's with, and then you find yourself with a new team the following year. It has to be a big adjustment, but he had a chance to sign back with the Giants. They matched the Dodgers deal. He just said, I want to go south.
Yeah. And then going to your team's most fierce rival.
Who would do that? That's just terrible.
Well, a couple of Red Sox and Yankees have done it. Somebody sitting next to me did it. Uribe, 3 for 11 career with a home run, 3 walks against Gio Gonzalez. That's a nasty curveball in the dirt.
I'm telling you, we could talk about Gio Gonzalez's fastball, his changeup, command of each. The key, I've always thought, is this pitch. You know, when he was in Oakland A, and even when he was a 21-game winner, that was his pitch. you know, the curveball is what you think about when you think of Gio Gonzalez. There's been times this year when he's had trouble getting his arm up due to that shoulder tightness. But that was a good one right there to Uribe.
Here's the catcher, A.J. Ellis. One spot where the Dodgers don't get any offense is catcher. Ellis hitting $191. Drew Butera 192. Tim Fedorovich, their third catcher, one of their call-ups today. He was called up along with Jock Peterson, an outfielder, Alex Guerrero, an infielder, and several guys in their bullpen. Ellis 2 for 11 career against Gio Gonzalez with a home run. And the fastball just outside, ball 3. Don't want to walk a 191 hitter in front of the pitcher, giving them a chance to turn over their lineup. But that's what Gio does, missing with 93. Second walk. They've each come after he retired the first 2 men.
All right, it's time to tweet your photo using hashtag MASSonFanPhotos. We'll show it on TV. Show you one tonight. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Hernandez 4 for 44 this year. 4 for 62 career. With a couple of big league RBIs. He'll make some contact and hit it up the right side for Cabrera. And over to LaRoche with an easy out. Dodgers strand their first base runner. And after 2 in L.A. 2-1 Dodgers.
Rosters expanding today. The Nationals added 6 players to their roster, 3 position players, 3 pitchers, all of whom we have seen earlier on this season. Tyler Moore, Sandy Leon, and Steven Souza Jr. come up. Blake Trinan, Xavier Cedeno, and Aaron Barrett as well will be out in the bullpen. Aaron Barrett, might remember about a month ago, went down to AAA Syracuse for a couple of reasons. The Nationals wanted to get him back on track a little bit mechanically after he had that balk called on him by Joe West. Things kind of went a little bit south for Aaron, but got things where he wanted to mechanically down at Syracuse. But the Nationals also were able to kind of handle his innings down there. He pitched 8 times over that month, and the Nationals only got him up and warming when they knew he was going to get into a game. So this is the first time that Barrett has handled a workload of this nature over the course of a long season, so the Nats wanted to kind of spread his innings out. They feel that he's now fresh, that he's on track mechanically. And guys, the 7, 8, 9 inning options with Drew Storen, Tyler Clippard, and Rafael Soriano are pretty locked in. But Aaron Barrett gives this bullpen a nice boost in maybe those earlier innings if a pitcher isn't able to get through the 6th.
Yeah, all hands on deck in September, right? It's our AFCEA Sideline Report, the Association for Global Security Professionals. And FP, there's a whole other element to this expanding the roster thing. The Syracuse Ball Club's going to the playoffs. So can they bring up as many guys from lower levels as they need to fill out that roster?
Yeah, you can bring up guys from A-ball. You can bring guys up from low A-ball. Any teams that aren't in the playoffs and have some extra players laying around, you throw them up on the AAA level and you use them however you see fit.
Top of the 3rd, here's Cabrera in the number 8 spot. As Jubal, kind of his first struggle offensively as a Nat on this trip. He was 1 for 11 in the Seattle series and 1 for his last 15 overall.
Carp, just a side note on Aaron Barrett, what Dan was talking about. He allowed no runs on 5 hits with 1 walk in 10 1/3 innings in Syracuse. He also worked on his changeup and has really added that to his repertoire. So it's not just fastball slider anymore from Barrett. He's supposed to have a really good change to go with it. Could be a big-time weapon in September in the pennant race out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see how that new pitch plays at the big league level. So it's Cabrera, Gio, and Span here, top of the 3rd. Nationals have forced Hernandez to throw 37 pitches in the first 2 innings. Even though he's retired 6 of the 7 batters, he's gone to a long count on nearly every hitter. Now it's 2-2.
Well, guys that nibble, that'll generally be the case. You get a couple of strikes, you try to make the perfect pitch. Next thing you look up, it's 3-2. Power guys just go right after you.
And a tapper foul. Two of those wins with the Phillies this year. On a ball, fading away as Drupal Cabrera does a good job to foul it away. So let's check Nissan for the entire at bat here.
Away, 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 and then there's one away.
And Cabrera touches one off to left center. See you later. Just out of here. Shadows are not. Some power by both ball clubs early in this one. And the Nats tied up on Cabrera's 4th as a Washington National.
I mean, what else? I mean, they're not going to get somebody on and bunt him over and hit him in. It's just everyone right now for the Washington Nationals, when they step into the batter's box, they're already in scoring position.
By the way, 1 single in Seattle yesterday. The rest were doubles and homers. And here we go again.
Some elaborate plays going on there, and the squad has grown. This one got me, Carp. I thought this was a routine fly ball to left center field. It had the sound, but the way the ball's carrying here right now, it's warm. An early start time. Did not think this was carrying out. And I didn't even think it was getting over Matt Kemp's head, but you watch the reaction, of Andy Van Slyke, and he just kind of watches it. I mean, that's a no-doubter. The other way. Scott Van Slyke. 3rd time's a charm.
You know, Andy was icing his knees in Seattle. I don't think he makes that play anymore.
Clean it up, for goodness sakes.
I saw him before the game the other day. He's got surgery as soon as the season's over, and that's Dad enjoying what his son is doing here with the Dodgers. Gio bounces out to Juan Uribe for the first out. So, first time through, a 95-mile-an-hour leaving the bat home run by Cabrera. The Nats go 2 for 9 with 2 solo shots. Just crazy what's going on.
Well, he's just gives you such a good at bat, whether it's an out, a walk, and then you make a mistake, he'll shoot you out of the yard.
Well, he's trying to make that call for Matt Williams really tough. What to do when Ryan Zimmerman gets back?
Yeah, I'm not even touching that. We just want him back.
We'll pay the toll on that bridge when we come to it, right?
Call a radio station for that one.
Here's Denard Span, lined out hard to Adrian Gonzalez to start the game. That one up and in from Hernandez. Through this year, given up 11 home runs in 144 innings. Now he's given up 2 early to Washington. And the Dodger fans get a little good news on the scoreboard. Rockies have scored 3 and lead the Giants in the nightcap of that suspended game, regular game doubleheader, 9-7. And a 1-2. It seems Hernandez flies open on one fastball against nearly every hitter. We've seen that one up and into a couple of right-handers, up and away to the lefties. He is building himself a huge pitch count here in the 3rd inning.
Well, he's getting to 2 strikes and nibbling instead of being aggressive and going after hitters.
And now Span will get time from Mark Ripperger.
And all that is, if you're wondering, is trust in your stuff. If you trust your stuff, there's no, I got to make a perfect pitch here, a perfect pitch there. You trust it. Here it is. This is what I want to do. I'm going to throw it. And whatever happens, happens. But you have a purpose to every pitch. When you see guys working slow, and when you see guys getting 0-2 to 3-2, they don't trust their stuff. It's almost like they feel like they're lucky they got to an 0-2 count. And now, how in the world am I going to finish them off?
And at 2-2, as Span stays alive here, takes that one, and another full count.
Yeah, so a 1-2 to a 3-2.
And Span rips that one to right. This has a chance. It's another Nationals home run. Span's 3rd of the year, 30th in the big leagues. I mean, that ball was launched. It's about 390 to right center.
The 13th home run for the Nationals in the last 3+ games. 10 in the Seattle series, now 3 in the first 3 innings of the Dodgers series, and I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Denard Span just went deep. What in the world is going on? Matt's mashers are just going off. It's a tater fest, folks, and we like it.
129 home runs for the ball club. At the start of the Seattle series Friday, they had 116. Anthony Rendon, of course, got that whole thing in Seattle started against Felix Hernandez Friday night.
22 home runs in the last 10 games. And, you know, this is being really picky. And I can't believe I'm about to say it, but they could get somebody on once in a while for one of these.
There's no time.
They're all solo shots.
Look at this. So 13 consecutive road games with at least 1 home run. Everybody in on the act. And now Rendon will rip one the other way. And folks, mark that one down. It's a single. The Nationals' 2nd single in their last 2 games. And a beautiful swing the other way.
Well, you're wondering if Anthony Rendon was going to go back to the dugout. But I think the horseshoe's fallen out of Roberto Hernandez's pocket. It was in there firmly last time when the Nats had 7 or 8 lineouts. You remember Denard Span lined out right to Hernandez? That was the last lineout. Well, here's the Earthquake. 16th home run of the year, first inning, 2 outs, dugout going nuts, and there's a lot of guys in that dugout all of a sudden. There's a lot of passing going on. A little assist right there for the layup.
Yeah, Jason Worth last time against Hernandez, 0 for 3. He lined out to third. In that game, Cabrera lined out into a double play. Desmond was robbed on a line drive. Span was robbed twice in that game. And Cabrera was 0 for 4 with 3 line drive outs. So the tables have been turned here tonight, at least so far. Nats on top 3-2, 4 hits, 3 of them have left Dodger Stadium. And as mentioned earlier, Worth now 5 for 10 career against Roberto Hernandez. He throws a BP fastball 90 right in there.
Well, I think you have to be careful when you're hitting a lot of home runs as a ball club that you can't get into the trap of A, trying to do it too much, and B, thinking you have the game in hand. There's something powerful about hitting all these home runs, and we saw yesterday, you know, that even though Bryce went deep a couple of times, and you're thinking, wow, this game's in hand because the balls are leaving the yard. It's fun to watch, and they're really pounding the pitcher. Well, it's about stringing hits together and scoring multiple runs.
It's a great take. Well, the Mariners had 2 guys on when they hit their home run yesterday. Cost the Nats the game. Right in there at 89. Jason Worth's consistency lately has been amazing. And that one splitting its way down to the ground. Strikeout number 3 for Roberto Hernandez. Another strikeout, and that followed the home run by Cabrera. $250 times 3 tonight already to the Children's National Medical Center. Thanks to our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Off and running, Rendon. And he is in there. He just kind of got a walking lead, kept on going, and Rendon's 14 out of 15.
Yeah, great jump right here by Anthony Rendon. You see the rhythm, just keeps on going like you called it, Carp, and steals this one easily. So now in scoring position for Adam LaRoche. Foot in there. Tag late. Nicely done.
Yeah, he stole that one on Hernandez. It's a 1-0 count to Adam LaRoche.
Saw something today. For the first time in batting practice, Carp, D. Gordon was taking ground balls at second base from the shift position. Tim Wallach was hitting him ground balls.
And Adam LaRoche goes deep to left center. But Van Slyke is waiting for it. And he has it at the edge of the track. 2 more Nationals home runs. Cabrera, 4th as a Nat. Leading off, it's not the first time he's gone opposite field left-handed this year. And then Denard Span pulls one. He was running hard. We may have known it was out before he did. And the Nats lead 3-2. for a lot of you folks on Saturday when the guys come home. It's a post-game contemporary Christian music concert featuring Lincoln Brewster. That's Phillies at 4:05. And also Adam, some of his teammates will be sharing testimonies about their faith on stage. Special group pricing available. For game tickets and more, visit nationals.com/faith or call 202-675-NATS. Ian Desmond will be a part of it. Craig Stammen, Denard Span scheduled. And here we go, bottom of the third. Top of the order, Gio and D. Gordon. And a pitch right down the middle called ball one. Must have been high.
Well, you want to have a shutdown inning after a couple of home runs. This is the key, getting Gordon out.
And the hitter might be unhappy about that one. Gordon tried to bunt his way aboard first time. Too hard, right back to the pitcher. Ramos sets up outer half. Fastball pulled, and Gio's late. Matt Williams out of the dugout, but it looked like D. Gordon clearly beat Gio Gonzalez to the bag.
Well, this cost Gio a game in Atlanta, and let's see if he just hesitates. He just got beat by a fast runner. Gio did everything he could right there. That's not his fault. D. Gordon just that fast. Watch, he just falls off the mound. As soon as it's hit, he goes. Just D. Gordon faster than Gio Gonzalez. That's all that was about. Gio didn't forget to cover or hesitate.
And I think why Matt went out there, FP, was did Gio apply the tag? But it appeared Gordon was already at or beyond the bag.
Yeah, I don't know what angle that they're seeing, but I don't know that that's a big challenge this early in the game. We'll see.
They got to be challenging the tag, right?
I would think.
Kind of funny, the crowd trying to sell it, because from the replay we're seeing here, the third angle they show is a lot closer than the first two, and the crowd didn't cheer nearly as much that time.
Well, I think they're thinking that they tagged him on the heel of the cleat that was up in the air, on the off leg. That one foot on the base, one heel in the air, and I think that's what Matt was thinking. Right there, I don't think that's going to go.
If the Nats win this, that's the catch of the year from the video room.
If the Nats win this, I'll eat my binoculars because it looks like he's safe.
Well, it's got to be indisputable, and it doesn't appear to be so.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go their way.
By the way, I'm putting my binoculars in my briefcase for a moment, just for safety.
Oh, I might have to get some ranch dressing on it. It looked like it hit his back heel.
That's why this has taken a while now.
Anything tastes good with ranch on it. I don't know about these binoculars. That last angle, can we see that last one again, guys, if we have time? That last one might have showed Gio's glove hitting his heel.
Off come the headsets in a moment. Runner is out! What a challenge by the Nats video coordinator, Eric Dalton, and then out to Matt Williams via Randy Knorr. That looked like it had no way to be overturned.
And it's the last angle right here. Watch the glove to the heel. That's the first one that shows it. It's a nanosecond before his left foot hits the back of the bag. And I think the difference there, if D. Gordon's foot hits the front of the bag, he's safe, but his plant foot went all the way to the back of the base. That gave Gio Gonzalez time to tag his heel and try to figure out how I'm going to eat these binoculars. But
wow.
It's worth it. Got one of them Ginsu knives? Because I think that's the only thing that's going to cut him.
I think you might need a laser. There's Hanley Ramirez, who bounced out to Rendon first time up.
And that's a perfect example of Exmo. There's no way that's overturned without Exmo. Back to the points we've talked about this year and how you know, you want as many Exmo cameras in a ballpark as you can get because it's so definitive. You wouldn't have seen that with a regular shot.
Man, now you got to credit Gio with a really good play. He knew he was late because D. Gordon's so fast, and Gio improvs and makes the tag.
Well, I really don't think he was late, Carp. I know what you're saying, but his motion takes him toward third base. He planted with his right foot, and he got off the mound as fast as he could. He's not blessed with the same speed as D. Gordon, and really nobody is. He just beat him.
No, I'm with you. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah,
it probably came out the wrong way, but this guy's just so fast. Curveball, and Ramirez will go take a seat. Maybe that's the sort of thing that can put in the mind of Gio Gonzalez, hey, maybe this is my night. Time to go after guys and get some outs.
Good call, and that's the curveball that we've been accustomed to with Gio. Backdoor variety, spins it in there hard and gets the call third.
2 outs, base is empty.
And at times, Carp, Gio has been criticized for not getting over to first base, and I think you have to tip your cap to him on the effort right there to get that out. However it looked and however long the replay took, he got the out because he really busted his tail getting to first.
Now here's the guy he walked with 2 outs in the first that led to the Kemp home run. Adrian Gonzalez, who for a big power hitter doesn't walk that much. Under 50 times this year. And he has 91 RBIs. You would think opponents would pitch around him more, but when you have a healthy Kemp and Puig behind him, as a rule, they must go after Gonzalez, and that is a fair ball. Foul by the time LaRoche got it, but he was well beyond the bag, and Gio was there in case he needed to help. That time did not. What a challenge.
Jason Worth with a Worthquake solo shot, 16th in the first. Asdrubal Carrera going the other way. And Denard Span, 30th career home run. It was a no-doubter. This road trip on the West Coast, at least, has been all about the longbow. How about some Geico highlights? Jason Worth started up. Kevin Franzen on the top step. Hey, there's 27 games left, folks. It's a sprint to the finish line. These guys are showing some serious emotion every day. And, hey, you know, over a long haul, you have to be even keeled. But right now, it's get the pom-poms out, be a cheerleader, and let's do this thing with 27 games left. And they are putting on some kind of power display on the West Coast.
Hey, by the way, Matt Williams is now 17 for 27 on his challenges this year.
Well, that one should count for 5.
That was unlikely.
You didn't really see it until he got to the last shot, and it barely hit his cleat before his foot hit the base. And that has to be the challenge of the year in the big leagues as far as what is he doing?
Something that appeared to be so obvious turned around.
Yeah, he's right.
Ian Desmond, top of the 4th inning. Harper and Ramos to follow.
Maybe that one makes up for a few in Philadelphia that could have went either way.
Oh. Yeah, those were bad.
I mean, it's huge. D. Gordon leading off an inning. He's on. I mean, he could be on third base in 2 pitches. It's a 1-run game. That was huge. I don't care if it's the 3rd inning or the 8th inning. That was big.
Yeah, that's the major league leader in stolen bases with 58. Tonight he's out 1-3 and 3-1. Desmond rips it the other way. Adrian Gonzalez handles it.
Bryce, a big day in Seattle yesterday. After hitting career number 50, he goes 51. Off the Hit It Here Cafe and 52. Straight away center field.
And now they call the hitter's eye the black eye in Seattle after that blast.
Well, that one in the cafe, I don't care what the home run tracker said. That ball was still going when it hit the glass.
It might have been 418 away from home plate when it hit the glass.
Right.
But it was 50 feet up and still going. Off speed and ball 1. High in the air, left field, and tailing on a play. Let's go inside the numbers with STG. Different kind of players in certain respects, but in other respects kind of similar. Both super aggressive, love to throw the ball around the outfield. And just comparing their career so far, Puig a little newer by a year or so, but both fast-tracked to the big leagues, their own unique ways.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see them both in an all-star game and both on base at the same time. Just see what happens. I mean, it might be like the I-5 here at rush hour. Just guys running different ways all over the place. Back and forth across each other, passing each other, then going back the other way.
Maybe a double steal or a pile up, who knows.
One on third stealing second, one on second stealing first. Two of the most aggressive base runners in baseball, though, and they're fun to watch play.
I'd like to see him stand side by side in center field and throw a ball home.
Good call. I think Bryce's arm is stronger than Puig's.
1-2 to Bryce. Target in. Breaking ball right on his hands. Hanley Ramirez the call. 2 outs. That'll bring in Wilson Ramos.
Catcher number 40, Wilson Ramos.
He pulled the ball to third base his first time up. That's 4 in a row for Hernandez since the Rendon base hit following the Span home run. Crazy day in Colorado. The Giants have just tied that game in the 9th inning, 9-9 with the Rockies. The Nats would beat the Dodgers and the Giants would win that game. They'd gain a game and a half today and be 1 game behind LA.
Got a text from Giants broadcaster Dwayne Kuiper. It said, "Go Nats," after they went up 3-2.
1-1 pitch. Up the middle. To his right, Gordon. Plenty of time to plant and throw out Ramos. So the Nats go in order in the top of the 4th inning. Tough frame for Gio. Kemp, Van Slyke, and Puig ahead.
really hustled to give it over to first base. There's times this year when he's kind of brain cramped and not got over there, but look at the effort by Gio, going step for step and stop it right there as his foot hits his heel. We'll show you one more time. Watch this. So there's the glove on the heel, the foot off the base. I mean, we're talking milliseconds. And how they're breaking it down now with the Exmo is just unbelievable. I mean, we showed it to you full speed. There's no way in heck you can see that full speed.
Never. You made a good point. As the tag was made, D. Gordon's front foot was hovering over the bag. If he hits the front of the bag, he's safe. But how do you break stride a little bit to make sure you hit the front of the bag? Because, you know, he just kept on running full speed.
Well, it's something you always do. It's something I never really had to think about. You work on it throughout your career. You're always taught to hit the front side of the bag because obviously it's quicker. And you do the whole sprinter's lean where you get your head in front of your body to create an illusion for the umpire that you're a little further than you are. So you get the sprinter's take lean and you hit the front of the bag. D. Gordon jumped to the back of the bag and it was a difference.
Breaking ball hit to the left side by Matt Kemp. Rendon throws him out. Gio Gonzalez suddenly on a roll here.
Let's
With
watch
benefit of the challenge, he's retired 8 out of 9.
Real speed. This is what umpires see. Okay. It's the highest level. D. Gordon, maybe the fastest player in baseball. And Ted Barrett, one of the best umpires in the game. And I don't care who you are, there's no way you can get that right without replay.
Now Matt has another one for the rest of the night. Here's Scott Van Slyke, struck out swinging first time on a changeup. Gio goes fastball low and away.
The recipes I'm getting on Twitter right now for binoculars are just amazing. I'm thinking about it.
Binoculars on the half shell.
Yeah.
Binoculars Newberg. Binocular omelet tomorrow.
Buffalo.
So Gio's on a roll now. Here's Puig. And here's what's coming up the rest of this series. Clayton Kershaw and Doug Fister tomorrow night. Dan Herron has been scratched, and he'll be replaced by Carlos Frias from the Dodger bullpen on Wednesday. Day off Thursday, and then the Phillies are coming in. And all those guys who combined for the no-hitter today against Atlanta, in Atlanta, will be in our ballpark this weekend. How crazy was that? A 4-pitcher no-hitter tonight.
Yeah, I watched most of the game. Cole Hamels was all over the place. I think he walked 5 Phillies and hit 1, or 4. 4 Braves and hit 1.
Yeah, if he had 4 Phillies, he was really wild.
He was really wild. He hit the mascot and 4 guys on the bench.
If he took out Ryan Howard with a drop-down breaking ball, that's pretty dangerous.
I'm just going to go home now. You guys have fun.
Well, you're thinking about, you know, you've been Mr. Healthy all summer. Now you have to eat some binoculars. I'm with you, winner tie.
Thank you.
Not on that one, though. 2-1 to Puig, who first pitch swinging hit a ground ball to Cabrera. Puig 8th in the league batting at .298 at the start of the day, like Denard Span. He was also sporting a .384 on base percentage, and Gio gets him right to the second baseman again. An 8-pitch inning for Gio Gonzalez, and he's only thrown 49 in 4. Here comes Cabrera, who tied the game for him 2 innings ago.
All 3 of the Nats' runs coming on solo home runs. This comes after in August, where the Nats hit 40 home runs in the month, second most in Major League Baseball. I asked Matt Williams earlier today what he attributes that home run barrage to. And Williams said that, well, it's pitch selection, but more than that, he thinks that it's just kind of an aberration from this team. He said, we're a good at-bat guy team. We'll score most of our runs that way, grinding out at-bats, being aggressive on the bases, things of that nature. So he doesn't really think that it's here to stay, that the Nationals are going to continue to pound out home runs at this pace, but he said we'll take them while we've got them, guys. We're not going to give them back. And Bob, if FP claims that there are no longer any binoculars in sight, if he hides yours or anything, I've got a pair down here that I could toss up to you.
Well, he may want to try mine. They're about 1/3 the size of his. 5th inning, Cabrera, Gio, Span. Little did we know the last time we gave you those do-ups, 2 home runs were in the offing. Outside from Hernandez, and the count's even 1-1. There's a slider, and that's a good take. You know, we want to give, along with Eric Dalton down there, Chris Rosenbaum as well. Guys who team up to do all the Nats video. You know, Eric's been here a little longer, Chris a little newer. They make a good team down there, but to me, that's a fantastic catch by those guys in the clubhouse to get the word to Randy Knorr, to relay it to Matt Williams.
But
quickly,
it was amazing. I watched it 6-7 times and didn't think they had a chance. They saw it real time, said challenge it, and it worked.
And Cabrera takes it outside. Hernandez trying to sell a call there. Randy Knorr is the liaison between the clubhouse and the skipper.
Probably the best talk with Randy on the plane last night, coming here about the whole strategy and late in the game in Seattle yesterday with Jones on first base and keeping them close.
Lead-off walk.
He does a great job running the defense with base runners on it, controlling the running game as good as I've ever seen. And I thought Felipe Alou was the best I'd ever seen. Randy really gets it, former catcher, when to hold, when to throw over, when to pitch out. I told him he's not a big fan of pitch outs because a lot of times pitchers slow down and aim it. They never really practice that, and catchers kind of slow down and catch it because how often do you practice that?
Here's where Gio needs to lay down a bunt. He has the lead in the game. He's pitching well. He's retired 10 of his last 11 hitters. This is a good way to move a runner and get yourself right back into the dugout.
Help yourself out. But he went on to say that he thinks catchers are quicker just catching a pitch and releasing it than they are when they step way out, clear themselves. It's a longer process. And plus, base runners are going to steal the bag anyways. Did you ever see a pitch out get Ricky Henderson? I said, no, he used to run right through pitch outs. But an interesting conversation about how it's not really that advantageous to do it.
And Gio chopping at it over the top of it. I think they'll make sure that if the bunt's on, he's going to get that signal loud and clear. Remember, he missed one the other night, swung away.
Well, if the ball comes up and hits his bat and he's out of the box, he's out. That was a double hit on his barrel. He bunted in the ground, it came up and hit his bat. He's way up in the box, so if for some reason he was out of the box, it's something you can challenge. Look how far up in the box he is. I mean, he is left foot on the front line. The reason you do that is you have more fair territory to bunt with. You're deeper in the box, you're really bunting into foul ground. Now you're way out in front. Everything you bunt should be fair.
Fifth inning, Nats have their leadoff man on. First time tonight other than with a home run, which Cabrera did back in the third.
It's a great tip for you younger players. If you're going to sacrifice bunt, get way up in the box. You might be saying, well, doesn't that give it away, FP? Doesn't matter. If you execute it and get it down the way you should, the other team knowing you're doing it is irrelevant.
And now it's 2-2. As you mentioned, a lot of two-strike counts for Hernandez. 79 pitches in 4 innings. He's at 89 right now with nobody out in the 5th inning.
That was just a step off to see if Gio was going to bunt with 2 strikes. Bob Henley going through another set of signs. And that's all you have to do is look at where he's standing in the box. His left foot is almost out of it.
And Gio bunts right through it, and a better throw from A.J. Ellis would have picked off Cabrera, who was in no man's land.
Well, I don't think D. Gordon was there. He was trying to hit a moving target, and that's hard for a catcher. So D. Gordon was late. Watch D. Gordon at the top of your screen.
Yeah, there was a double pump.
Yeah, double pump. And did he get a foot in? No, he's on the line. That's an incomplete pass.
So Cabrera still at first, 1 out. Top of the order, Denard Span. Chris Perez added to their bullpen today. Veteran right-handers pitched in both leagues.
Did he pull something right there?
Oh boy.
Maybe a cramp. I'm going with cramp. It didn't look like he did really anything unusual, and I think they're both having a laugh. Adrian Gonzalez has his glove over his face. He's laughing into his glove. Watch him. He calls timeout because he knows he's going off the base right there. And then Gonzalez is cracking up.
Span launches another one. See you later. A 2-home run game for a man with 31 in his entire career. And the Nationals lead 5-2.
We like Span way better than Denard. I mean, that ball absolutely touched. What in the world is going on? Number 2 with his 2nd home run of the night.
Denard Span with the Nationals hit 4 homers last year, and he's just matched that total with 2 tonight.
2 tonight. You see the location mistake right down the middle, foot down early, catching it out front. And he makes it a 5-2 game. Good teams pick each other up. Gio Gonzalez couldn't get the bunt down. Denard Span goes deep, and the bench goes crazy.
2nd career 2-home run game. And Roberto Hernandez is done. Dodger fans were booing before Denard even made it around the bases. He's going to give up 3 home runs in 4 1/3 innings tonight.
14th home run in 3.5 games. Come on.
It's absolutely crazy what's going on with this ball club. This call to the bullpen, packaged by the UPS store. Your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics, and we all love home runs. Here comes Chris Perez just off the DL today.
2 home runs for Denard Span. Don't forget his first time up when he had a bullet to Adrian Gonzalez for an out. So the barrel and Denard Span have been friends tonight, fast friends. Second home run of the night for Span, 4th of the year. What is going on?
His career high is 8 with Minnesota back in 09. He's on pace to match that by Wednesday.
Yes.
I doubt it, but you never know. Having fun with the long ball, and here's Chris Perez, 29-year-old right-hander. Just came off the DL today. Right ankle injury had him out for the last 4 weeks. And a big slider to Anthony Rendon, who is 1-for-1 career against him with a triple.
Yeah, throws that slider at 83 miles an hour. Fastball at 94.4 on average. 2 pitches.
Holds on to that one way too long.
Good take. Borderline pitch.
.91 pitches by Roberto Hernandez in 4 1/3 innings. Yeah, first time Denard's gone first pitch ambush successfully. Low 2-1.
There's a lot of things with this ball club in the last month that I have never seen before. You talk about all the walk-offs the last homestand, the fashion in which they did it, now the home runs on the West Coast.
And Rendon hits it sharply right side to Deke Gordon after his base hit the other way. Last time up, 2 outs.
There was one stretch in 2012, I think it was a homestand against the Cubs, where it felt like they hit home runs at this rate. But, this is on the road. This is a different story in 2 ballparks that are pitchers' parks that they both made look small.
Yeah, supposedly. Here's Worth, deep left center. The last section out toward left center before the batter's eye starts. Always a place at Dodger Stadium that hasn't yielded that many home runs. They actually start the batter's eye in that last little section of seats with the tarp on it, right below the flagpole, and Jason's homer just to the left of that.
And the good thing for the Nats with a 3-run lead, as soon as it gets dark and cools off here, the ball will not go anywhere.
And Perez sinking that one missing. Little double take by A.J. Ellis. I think the Dodger catcher might have thought they had a strike there. That one tails inside, and Worth is aboard for the second time. Dodgers with their second walk tonight, 1 by each pitcher. That'll bring in Adam LaRoche. We go inside the numbers with Jeep. So here's the monthly ledger for the Nats. As mentioned earlier, 17-11 in June, best previous record. Close to a club record in August with those 40 home runs. It all adds up to a chance to go back to 20 over 500 tonight.
I mean, you look at April and May, 27 and 27 with all the injuries. It's clicking now, no doubt. But that, for me, was the most important time of the season, when the Nats were just ravaged by injuries, and you were wondering, what in the world's going on? This guy's hurt, that guy's hurt, everybody on the disabled list. How would they respond? Well, we said plug along, tread water, hang around 500, get hot late. That's exactly what they did, and it's exactly what they're doing.
And LaRoche got a fastball that had some late sink to it and fouled it. Hit the ball pretty far to left center last time up. Put Scott Van Slyke to the edge of the track. And Worth had a tremendous jump, and then he shut it down.
I don't know if he felt like he was out there too soon, too far. You're right.
Two outs in the inning. They're shading LaRoche toward left center with Puig. He's about 20 feet off center there. Any drive right by the umpire into right center could send home Jason Worth. By the way, the Rockies helped out the Dodgers. And a walk-off win 10-9 in that nightcap in Colorado. And Worth off and moving this time. And I mean, not even close. So Jason Worth swiping one on the pitcher there. And he's 8 for 8 this year.
Yeah, that was a 3-even steal. Watch A.J. Ellis. He just kind of threw it token. Like, I know this is a stolen base, but I got to throw it anyways. He knew that base was stolen on Perez. And when Jason Worth goes, he makes it. Pretty simple.
122nd stolen base of his career. And now Adam LaRoche has a full count. D. Gordon on the shift in right field. Interesting. If there's a ground ball that goes by the umpire and D. Gordon gets to it and LaRoche beats it out, Worth could score from second. There's all kind of things going on with this defensive alignment. And LaRoche will drive it the other way. Van Slyke, not the greatest jump, but he's able to make up the difference at the end. And the Nats are swinging the bat and hacking tonight. Another Denard Span home run. Third and fourth of the year tonight. A no-doubter into the bullpen. (5-2) out hitting the Dodgers 5-1. And we want you to get a ticket and a drink deal starting at just $22 for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday games at Nationals Park. Miller Lite Party Night Happy Hour as well. Live music, $6 drink specials at the On Deck Bar. That's before the ball game. Now some restrictions apply. Get your tickets online, nationals.com/party. Kind of an unhappy Dodger Stadium holiday crowd here, booing their starter off the field. Nats blasting away and leading 5-2. Gio against Juan Uribe here, bottom of the fifth. And a one-pitch ground ball. Gonzalez over to cover, gets it from LaRoche. And that's 11 of 12 for Gio Gonzalez. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. One guy remaining behind at Syracuse for the playoffs, Brandon Laird. Postseason All-Star. This year he hit 300 at the extra base hits. Just the doubles and the home runs. 50 Drove in 85, scored 67. Look out, pitching to Brandon Laird in the AAA playoffs. A.J. Ellis, the catcher. Walked his first time up. Gio goes after him with a fastball. And working the strike zone. Having guys hacking. They're warming up a pitcher because Alex Guerrero, called up today, is on deck. Jamie Wright is the right-hander out there. You can just about go to your bench and your bullpen anytime now with all the call-ups they have. Dodgers have 8 right-handers and lefty J.P. Howell in their bullpen and a whole host of extra guys in the dugout. Gio on 1 and 2, and that ball driven to right, pretty well hit. Worth is there waiting for him. 2 down.
That fastball, on the scoreboard at least, was clocked at 95 miles an hour.
So here's Alex Guerrero.
For the Dodgers, entering for Hernandez, number 7, Alex Guerrero.
Alex Guerrero, second time up with the Dodgers this year. He was actually on the roster opening day. And he was hitting .333, 17 homers and 57 RBIs at 3 levels of the minor leagues. He was a 3-time All-Star in Cuba early in his career.
Good changeup by Gio.
And then he's late for the fastball, slicing it into the seats.
Carp, I think you absolutely nailed it on D. Gordon in the review. When that happened to Gio, his whole game changed tonight. And he's thinking, well, things are starting to go my way just because of that call. You said that might loosen him up a little bit, and it has. And that's the way players think. You get something like a review in your favor, you say, okay, I got this. Because in your mind, you're thinking D. Gordon on, 1-run game, leadoff guy, got to keep him close, can't let him steal. And then all of a sudden, wow, I got 1 out, nobody on. I'm still pitching out of the windup. This might be my night.
A whole lot of junk you suddenly don't have to worry about.
Right.
Change up. And he strikes out Guerrero. Gio Gonzalez, 4th K of the night. And the man is on a roll now officially. 10 in a row and 13 out of 14. So, on to the 6th inning. Right-hander Jamie Wright will take over for the Dodgers here. Desmond, Harper, and Ramos. 39-year-old right-hander who's been in the major league since 1996 when he broke in as a starter with Colorado. Always had a good fastball. That's in the zone to Ian Desmond.
Yeah, sinker guy, two-seam fastball, 89. Slider, 81. He'll cut the fastball at times. Curveball and change to go with it.
He's appeared in over 700 big league ball games. In fact, 762 to be exact. And at this stage of his career, getting a job done as a reliever.
So they showed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the scoreboard between innings. And you would think the next home run the Nats hit, a skyhook would be involved in the dugout, right?
If they were paying attention.
Yeah.
They showed Rick Fox as well, former Laker. There he is. And a breaking ball that was up a bit. Jamie Wright will make some contact, and Ian Desmond will get a base hit out of that. At least he should. Bryce Harper, University of Maryland University College, moment in history. A clean double for his first big league hit.
Some would say it wasn't clean, but yeah, a double to center field, helmet off, there's the ball. I remember what a media circus it was that day when he got called up. You remember all the people in the Nats dugout? And then we got to sit down with Bryce and interview him. And all the talk from Mike Rizzo was, oh, we're just trying him out. If it doesn't work, we're going to send him back to AAA. And right before we started our interview, I said, you ain't going back. And he goes, oh, well, we'll see. I said, no, guys like you don't go back. And there was some talk about that earlier this year that was squashed immediately by Matt Williams.
Yeah, and a good part of it now by Bryce's bat. 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout, a pop up to short when he was jammed. Harper facing Jamie Wright for the first time. Ian Desmond, by the way, 2 for 2 career against this pitcher with that base hit.
The craziest thing about that interview, Carp, and I don't know if I'll ever experience anything like that. We were both sitting in our chairs. We had the one shot, the camera in the well doing the interview, and I looked up and there was people all around us, photographers taking pictures of our interview. Probably 20, 25 photographers taking pictures of Bryce and I sitting there doing a sit down. It was nuts.
I heard Bryce got upset when the one guy said, who's that guy sitting there with FP? Well, that was crazy, but he got it done. I think he had a sac fly his first game and then the double the next day.
Well, he made a great throw that Wilson Ramos dropped too that would have been his first major league assist.
0-2 to Harper with Desmond aboard here, top of the 6th. Good idea of the breaking ball. I think it looked like a strike for a while. Ballpark completely in the shade now. Easier to see than before, but I don't know. The way the ball's been flying out of here, maybe not. Span a couple of home runs. Second time in his career he's done that. Cabrera got the thing going in the 3rd to tie it after the Worth homer had given the Nats an early lead. Desmond a short lead. Gonzalez really off the bag at first. And Harper not able to get to that breaking ball, and he strikes out. Nissan will track it right into the dirt.
Yeah, a little curveball from J.B. Wright, and Bryce Harper kind of spinning out there, probably looking for that fastball in, it seemed like.
Wilson Ramos 0 for 1 career against Wright. He's 0 for 2 tonight with a pair of ground balls. Doing a good job of handling Gio. Getting him through a few bumps in the road early. And now in sync with his battery mate. Ramos high in the air to right. Going back is Kemp. He is still going with it. One step in front of the wall as Ramos almost made it 5 tonight. I mean, there's barely a breeze here. Players supplying all their own power.
Well, it's cooled off a little bit. I don't know if that had anything to do with this. Everything in the ballpark shade now. You kind of feel the temperature drop, and who knows if this would have been a home run in the first 3 innings. But Matt Kemp does a nice job of going back to the track and making the catch. Wait, the way they're hitting him, you just feel like everything off the bat's a homer now.
There's Cabrera, who has homered, walked, scored twice. And a fastball, tails outside.
Yeah, not a bad pitch he hit out.
Yeah, half the ball on the outside edge there. Cabrera left his hot zone a little bit and got it. Jamie Wright missing his catcher's target, but he got it on the plate on the outside edge, and the count's even 1-1. And the changeup away.
See, Cabrera's got a little Ichiro in his setup. He grabs his front sleeve and kind of points the bat out at the pitcher right at the very end. We'll show what to do. Right there.
3-1.
Guys just have certain mannerisms they do, but you know, not having talked to Drubal about that, I would imagine it's just kind of a way to line yourself up and keep your front shoulder closed as the last thing you do before you put your other hand on the bat and go to work. And front shoulder closed. Here we go.
Ellis keeps asking for the ball in, and Wright keeps missing away, and that'll fill the count 3-2. 5:10 local start here at Dodger Stadium. Looks like a crowd of about 40,000 or so on Labor Day evening here. So we're in the 7 o'clock hour here, Pacific time zone. The Nats trying to get this back to a 3-4 trip. If they can win tonight, take on Clayton Kershaw tomorrow. Day game, 3 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday. 3-2 runner going. Desmond already has a 15-foot lead. And Cabrera will send him back to first base.
Interesting that they're not holding Ian Desmond on. You pointed it out. His lead was way past the cut, and he actually was taking a turn into second base as the pitch was coming to the plate. So instead of just running straight to the base, he's thinking about a gapper and scoring. And now they're going to have Adrian Gonzalez kind of creep behind him because they saw the same thing we did. That's way too big a lead to let a speed guy have in a 3-2 count with 2 outs.
Yeah, I was surprised. There he goes again. 3-2, Cabrera. Right side, D. Gordon cuts it off and throws him out from his knees in right field. Legs, range, enough arm to get it done. And the Nats strand their third runner just north of downtown Los Angeles. And brought to you by the DC Lottery. The DC Lottery presents the Friday Fun Concert Series at the Fairgrounds. 2 hours pre- and post-game each Friday. It's fun to play the DC Lottery. And by Charles Schwab. Own your tomorrow. Southern California turf. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Nats lead the Dodgers 5-2. And let's check in with Dan on Tanner Roark's post-game since his start in Seattle.
Bob, as someone who never got anywhere close to playing professional ball, I was curious as to how a starting pitcher feels the day after his start, just how worn down he is. That's something that, as outsiders, we obviously don't experience. Tanner Roark started yesterday, and so I asked him to enlighten me. Roark said that his lat, pectoral, and back are sore the morning after he starts, but the extent of that soreness varies. Sometimes he wakes up feeling pretty good, other times he's pretty beat up. Roark combats that soreness by getting to the park early the day after his start so that he can go for a run. The goal being to flush out the lactic acid that's built up from the day before. Roark says that once he works out, he feels 10 times better. Right after a start, Roark ices his arm and goes through a shoulder program that includes resistance bands. It's work that Roark says can be boring and tedious, but it pays off. He says he loves this game and wants to stay in it as long as possible, and is a firm believer that hard work does pay off. And his work after starts and in between outings is a big part of it.
D. Gordon bunts one in the air, and fortunately for the Nats, right to LaRoche near the bag.
Tricky
so he's
little
0 for 2 on bunts and 0 for 3 on the day.
Tricky little hop right there at the end. So the game plan for the Nats is to have Cabrera pinch up if he tries to bunt to second base, and Adam LaRoche go straight to the bag. If the first baseman goes for the ball, there's no way that Gio, as we've seen, is going to beat D. Gordon to the bag. So the Nats have already talked about it in a pre-series meeting. If Gordon brings it with him, LaRoche goes to the base, Cabrera comes in and fields the bunt if Gio can't get it. This was bad direction by D. Gordon. He meant to bunt that to Asdrubal Cabrera. He bunted it right toward LaRoche. Little tricky hop there at the end for Adam, and he's got his hands on his knees, and I think he tweaked his back on that play. It's been hurting him a lot more than he's letting on.
LaRoche, yeah?
Yes.
You know, I think we can tell because Adam, a lot of low pitches. He's hitting the top of the ball and fouling them off and hitting ground balls. He's just not getting that extension that we know he can.
And you'd think he'd have tomorrow off against Clayton Kershaw. But, yeah, just a little play like that. He had his hands on his knees. He was looking straight down at the ground, kind of stretching out.
And he'd be the last guy to ask for a day off against a pitcher like that. But that might be a good call by Matt tomorrow. You got Kevin Franzen. He can play all over the place, first base if you need him. Hanley Ramirez fouls one. He topped that ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes for the Dodgers. Pretty much their offense. And their only hit, Matt Kemp's 2-out, 2-run homer in the first after the 2-out walk to Adrian Gonzalez. Gio has 1 walk since then, and he's retired 14 of 15 hitters. One of them with the help of the video room, Randy Knorr and Matt Williams. It's a breaking ball that had late break back toward Ramirez. Desmond time to take an extra hop before throwing him out. Nobody centering the ball in the last 4 innings against Gio. They'll bring in Adrian Gonzalez, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored.
Just my opinion, but I've seen Gio for 3 years now, and I've said this before. He's so antsy and so amped up early in the game until something happens. His team scores, the other team scores, and you're into the flow of the game, and then he relaxes. He gets in his rhythm. He starts to pound the strike zone. You see him a different guy with a 3-run lead right now because he's into the game. It's already taken care of itself. He's got a 3-run cushion. He's being aggressive.
Didn't miss by much to Gonzalez.
But it almost seems like in the first or second inning, every start, he's feeling it out. Which way is this one going to go? Is it going to be a good one? Is it going to be a bad one?
Gonzalez gets around late. Harper tracking it. Bryce has it in the corner. And it's a 1-2-3 for Gio Gonzalez. Another 8-pitch inning. And that's 16 out of 17 retired.
Top of the 7th inning. This one's been all about Gio Gonzalez and what he's done on the mound, and Denard Span and what he's done at the plate. I said in the first inning, this series, the way it's shaping up, will be a battle of the leadoff hitters. Who you can keep off base, D. Gordon or Denard Span? Well, Denard Span really hasn't been on base tonight. Officially he has, but he's rounded him twice. His second career 2-home run game gives him 4 on the year, and the home runs are just raining down this ball club. What'd you call them? The Washington Power Company yesterday? I love it.
From the state of Washington to Southern California now. And the Nats are rattling some palm trees outside Dodger Stadium.
Go DC Power Company t-shirts. I see those in the near future.
Okay. Brandon League, 4th Dodger pitcher of the night.
Fastball 94, slider 87, split 86.
Fastball right in there to Gio. We were talking about that 6-pitcher no-hitter Seattle had a couple of years ago. He was one of those guys when he was with the M's. Been with the Dodgers since the middle of the 2012 season. Gio jacks one to center. Puig going back. It's over his head. Gio Gonzalez careful to round first base correctly, and he's into second with a leadoff double. Yeah, the sun was still out. That ball's gone. Just kidding.
Well, hey, it's not that much of a stretch the way things have been going. And look at Gio getting in the mix. Look at the late jump by Puig. It looked like he wasn't even ready for the pitch. The ball was over Hanley Ramirez's head almost, and he hadn't even made a move. Gio Gonzalez with a very, I guess, deliberate turnaround first and a leadoff double. And if you're Denard's fan, do you bunt him over or do you just hit one in the seats?
3-run lead, 7th inning. By the way, Gio also has a home run this year, so of his 4 hits, 2 for extra bases. And this is one time maybe we want Denard Span to be in pull mode. What a night. He has 159 hits now, and he's driven himself home twice, so he's now scored 85 runs. The numbers he and Rendon are putting up at the top of this order are becoming staggering.
Well, if the Nats win the East, he deserves to be in the conversation. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He will pull it, but it's not deep at all. And Kemp will have no problem. Gio's not even going to leave the bag. 1 out.
That behind the plate shot of Puig, we looked out, he hadn't moved. I don't know if he was ready for the pitcher actually hitting the ball. Watch Yasiel at the top of the screen. Look at, I mean, the ball's over shortstop and he hadn't even moved yet. I don't know if he was looking in the strike zone or not, but that definitely caught Puig by surprise. And I mean, you heard the crack, and you could have counted 1,001, 1,000, almost 2 before he moved.
Looking into the Nats dugout, looks like Kevin Franzen, 2 spots away, might be hitting for Adam LaRoche. There's Rendon, 1 for 3, opposite field base hit, and his 14th steal of the year.
Just bending over to field that bunt. I saw it happen. A D. Gordon bunt. He almost went down to his knees.
Well, get Adam out now. He's got almost 2 days off. Rendon will jack one to right. This will send Kemp back. It's over his head. Gio around third. He will score. The Nationals lead 6-2 as Rendon drives in his 73rd of the year on his 59th extra base hit. And I'll tell you one thing, the Dodger pitching staff and this home crowd not used to seeing another team do this in this ballpark.
Well, that's why I said in Seattle the other day that this wasn't a measuring stick for the Nationals on this road trip like everybody said. It was a measuring stick for the teams they're playing. When you're 20 games over 500 and 6+ games up in first place, you're the measuring stick, not who you're playing. And I think they're showing all of baseball right now that that's the case.
Another runner in scoring position as Rendon and Gio trade places. Worth 1 for 2, a home run, a walk, and a steal. That's a kind of a flat-looking slider that sat right on the inside corner.
And that's the mentality that those guys have right now. You're playing us, we're not playing you.
That one goes tailing inside. Kevin Franzen on deck for Adam LaRoche.
And I love the fact that Jason Worth the other night after the game publicly in the paper said, it's no secret that I want another ring. I think you should be open. You should talk about those things. You should verbalize your goals. Why keep it a secret?
Worth is driven in 76. Long look at the runner and then a step off. Yeah, forget about Rendon. He'll steal third with 1 out. He's 13 out of 14 this year. Nats have stolen 2 bags tonight, 81 on the year. This team is turning into the best combination of power and speed in the National League. Worth against Brandon League, by the way, 0 for 4 career. Fastball pumped right in there, 96. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Little two-seamer, probably catches the front corner.
And a 3-2 count. And Worth will take the walk. He's on for the 3rd time, and that'll add to his .380 on base percentage coming into this game. 2 on, 1 out, and a big spot for Kevin Franzen.
Attention, please, for the Nationals.
Franzen has faced Brandon League before. He's 1 for 4 against him.
I might play first tomorrow, or Tyler Moore might get a start. We'll see.
Yeah, great to see Timo back with the ball club. Steven Souza Jr., Sandy Leon, all added to the bench today.
Pretty strong bench, pretty strong bullpen.
And with both runners going, safe is Rendon at 3rd and Worth into 2nd behind it.
Tim Wallach in the Dodger dugout doing the dance, going to the phone.
That would be 4 bags for the Nats tonight.
Well, based on my track record tonight, Carp, you got this one.
I got him safe.
You got it right.
Yeah, pitcher's on the rubber. Bang. Foot, then the tag. What a great spot for Franzen now. Infield in. Kevin, a good contact guy, and he's ahead in the count. That's outside, 2-0. The Nats constant pressure on the Dodgers tonight. And Franzen lines one on a hop. Uribe comes home. It's a 5-2 fielder's choice.
Could his foot get in there? And I think Matt Williams is going to come out and talk to home plate umpire Mark Ripperger.
Taking his time.
Well, this might go to the clubhouse again, and we'll see. The throw beats him. Does his foot get the plate before A.J. Ellis puts the tag on? That's the question. And I don't think so.
Yeah, it's going to be out.
Well,
we think. Well, Matt's going to challenge it.
Well, maybe he's blocking the plate. Now that I look at it again from that angle, did Anthony Rendon have a lane to slide in?
He was a lot of body in foul territory right there.
That's what Matt is asking. So it's an umpire review about whether A.J. Ellis was giving Anthony Rendon a lane to slide. We've seen all year catchers set themselves in fair territory and go into foul territory. There was no lane. This is legit. You could tell by A.J. Ellis's reaction. Look at the scoreboard. This might be a 7-2 game. Look at, he's blocking the plates.
Ted Barrett staring intently at the board.
The throw didn't take him there, did it? He was set there before the throw. It's one thing if you set in fair territory, the throw takes you into foul territory and you block the plate. But watch where he sets up.
They called the runner out. Only thing I can figure, throw is so far foul, maybe they figured he gave him some of the plate on the other side. So 5-2 on the fielder's choice. That didn't take long.
There's so much gray area in that rule.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that really needs to be addressed in the offseason, but Ellis clearly was blocking the play right there, and they saw it different.
Ian Desmond trying to rescue this rally that has 1 run in so far with 2 outs. Target in, Brandon League bolts the fastball beautifully under his hands. Ian Desmond 0 for 1 career against Brandon League. Now the runners. Third base Worth, who walked, stole second, and then Franzen reaching on the fielder's choice. That was a changeup. See that thing come floating back? Looked like it was heading way outside. Well, let the battle begin here on 0-2. Took that change up and faded it down and in. Six-2 Nats with a run here. 2 more men aboard. Desmond jammed again. He's off to the races. Hanley Ramirez will throw him out by a step. So the Nationals pick up a run on the Gio double, the Rendon RBI double, and it's the Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Beautiful sunset in Southern California, and it's shining on that scoreboard that looks pretty good right now as well.
One hit, a Matt Kent home run, made it 2-1 in the first, and it's time for your AT&T fan photo. And is that Bryce Harper? Clean shaven Bryce Harper, and he's got a poster of himself in his room. All right.
Could be.
I think it was. I mean, I've been nailing everything else tonight.
Kevin Franzen in for LaRoche after hitting for Adam. Kemp, Vance, like Puig, 4, 5, 6. Gio, 2 of the last 3 innings. And really, 4 innings in a row, 10 pitches or less. Change up, hammered by Kemp. He's 2 for 3.
Well, watch this play by Adam LaRoche, and I took note of it. He doesn't use his top hand. He comes in, he's got his left hand behind his back, and if he reaches over with his top hand, I think you just see the way he kind of squatted down for that. His back's already barking. He stood like that for about 30, 40 seconds before he even moved, and now he's out of the game. So anybody that's had back problems knows that just the littlest things can trigger it. Looked like he was hurting already going for that ball.
Gio against Scott Van Slyke, attacking for strike 1, right on the inside edge. Then he gets a beauty at 93, fading away. Great pitch. Goes with a curveball. Interesting, Drew Storn warming up. I guess more of a game situation warm-up because the pitch count for Gio's fine. He's averaging 11 pitches per inning tonight. But the Dodgers get another runner or two. This thing gets interesting in a hurry. Van Slyke defensive swings to stay alive on those big hooks from the left-hander. Some of that with Oakland, a lot of it with the Nats. 8 of 11 against the West. As we mentioned earlier, the Nationals, great baseball against what's considered the best pitching division of the league at 22-8. Oh, 2 to Van Slyke. Went with the low fastball, just missed. Got Van Slyke, more of a fly ball hitter. He's only bounced into 3 double plays this year. And a 1-2 up the middle. He got the ground ball, but it goes through. And the Dodgers have 2 on, nobody out with Yasiel Puig coming up.
And Desmond playing Van Slyke to pull. He goes right back up the middle. Chopper gets through. And Dodgers feeling like they got something going here in the 7th. First and second, nobody out.
Yeah, Gio's reaction in the cage, when he turned around, he thought that was a double play ball. So here's Puig. Couple of ground balls the opposite way to Cabrera tonight. This is Matt Williams, and is Gio done with a 4-run lead? He's only thrown 70-some pitches, and he's out of here. He'll go 6+ tonight. Gio will go 6 for the 15th time this year. He's only gone 7 6 times, and not tonight.
Like tonight, after he gave up the 2-run home run to Matt Kemp in the first, he's kind of grinded this one out. Not spectacular, but really good, and really stuck his nose in there, which I like. And I think Carpy nailed it when he got over to cover on D. Gordon, did the best he could to get there, and the call was reversed. He really settled down, did a nice job. DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. A 2-seam fastball slider change. And when you talk to people about Yasiel Puig lately, he's had trouble with anything away. Sliders away and fastballs away. have given him fits, and this is the first time he's really struggled at the big league level.
He's 0 for 1 against Storen career. Big slider, swing and a miss. No, Gio had him hit the ball the other way twice on the ground.
Well, all the talk when the Dodgers were in D.C. was about how Puig had changed his strike zone. Discipline was great, but lately, whether he's mentally fatigued or physically fatigued, he's been chasing out of the strike zone like he did a lot at the end of last year.
Nobody out here in the 7th. Storen goes with the heater and runs it back at 95. So first pitch of the inning, Matt Kemp singled through the shortstop hole. And then Van Slyke, after a 2-strike count, managed to get one through up the middle. Challenged him with a changeup. That was 88 and up a little bit.
But where was it?
In.
He's been handling anything in. First 2 pitches, slider away, fastball away. And Drew knows he tried to throw the changeup away, and it came right into his turbo zone.
You know, when the Nats played the Dodgers in May, Puig was in the middle of that month when he had 43 hits in the month of May.
And he had just run into the wall in Miami against the Marlins, and I think he missed the first couple of games of that series.
0-2. Time to bury a slider. No, he goes fastball. Gets a possible double play ball. Nope. Desmond played it deliberately to Cabrera, sensing they had no chance at first. And Matt Kemp doing his best to screen Desmond on the grounder.
So the book on Puig is away. First pitch slider away, swing and a miss. Watch the fastball from Storen, perfectly placed away. Might have got away with the changeup, but Puig way out in front. And then another location mistake on 96, but he got the ground ball, and Ian Desmond does a nice job of just getting out. Matt Kemp trying to run a little interference right there. Actually put his hand down to try to block the baseball. I don't know if I've seen that.
That'll bring in Juan Uribe. He's a double play guy if he can get the ground ball. Target in. And he got the fastball right out over the plate. Location mistake by Drew Storen, and it's a 6-3 game.
Well, I think more than a location mistake, Clark, a pitch selection mistake. Juan Uribe is a guy that's swinging from the on-deck circle. He's a first pitch hacker. He always has been his whole career. Doesn't mean you don't necessarily throw him a fastball, but if you know he's swinging, you could trick him with a slider. But the Dodgers played their 3rd run of the night to make this a 3-run game.
Kesher, A.J. Ellis. Drew Storen throwing lots of fastballs here. That one right at Span. Puig has to stay at second base, 2 down. And now the pitcher spot for the Dodgers.
It's like Andre Ethier stepping in.
It is. Not starting tonight against the left-hander Gonzalez.
Matt Thornton getting hot. And here comes Matt Williams, and he's going to go to his lefty.
So Drew Storen, 2/3 of an inning with a base hit, allowing an inherited runner to score. And now it's a 6-3 ball game. Long way to go at Dodger Stadium. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. 2 on, 2 out. And the Dodgers will go with right-handed hitting Justin Turner. So they burn Ethier with that move as the Nats bring in the lefty Thornton.
Wheels are turning. This got playoff-type baseball written all over it. Matt Williams going matchups. He wants Don Mattingly burn Andre Ethier, so Ethier out of the game. Justin Turner, who's one of the hottest Dodger hitters, pinch hits for Andre Ethier. In the middle of a 4-game hitting streak, he's 8 for his last 16. He's hitting .369 since the All-Star break. Did a nice job filling in for Hanley Ramirez while he was hurt.
And he's 9 for 22 with 6 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Turner has faced Thornton before. He has a base hit against him. And he goes up swinging. And a fastball up and away. Three hits in the inning, but to this point, only one Dodger run. Off. Well, looked like an off-speed pitch the way it dove, but that's 96. Wow. There's the bear. Probably for Hanley Ramirez, 2 hitters away. A lot of extra personnel to call upon here in September.
Well, that's exactly why Matt Williams is playing matchups. And Drew Storm, who usually has the 7th all of his own, goes to Matt Thornton.
Up and away. And Matt Thornton continues to be brilliant since the Nats picked him up, yes, ladies and gentlemen, off the waiver wire from the New York Yankees. Impressive. $4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union. And by your local D.C. area Land Rover retailers. Visit DCAreaLandRover.com for special lease and finance offers. Beautiful night, huh?
Yeah, beautiful downtown. Gorgeous skyline that we get to look at when we jump in our car after the game. National season plan holders, you have until September 5th to purchase your 2014 postseason tickets. You also have the opportunity to upgrade your season plan for 2015 to receive upgraded postseason seats. For all renewal postseason ticket details, visit nationals.com/renew.
By the way, you don't drive with binoculars, do you?
No, I already ate them, and my stomach is killing me.
Okay. I thought you looked a little pale. Yimi Garcia, 24 years of age. He's from Moca of the Dominican Republic. Dodgers signed him January 5 years ago.
Four-seam fastball 92, slider 81. He'll also mix in a changeup at 84.
He had 5 saves, a 3.10 ERA at Albuquerque, the Dodgers AAA. And his first batter in the big leagues, Bryce Harper. Funny thing about it is Bryce Harper, who's much younger than he is. Center cut fastball 93.
Saw this the other day. Bryce Harper, as a professional baseball player at any level, has never faced a pitcher younger than he is. Never.
Maybe another year or two before that happens.
Right.
Or maybe in September, depending on who the Nats are playing this month. That ball rocked into right. That's as good as a single can sound. And he's aboard, leading off the 8th with Ramos and Cabrera, the next 2.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that went down to A-ball on rehab assignments and still didn't face a guy younger than he was. And Bryce Harper greets Garcia with a base hit. Bullet to the right side. And Bryce loves fastballs. We all know that.
There's Wilson Ramos. He pinned Matt Kemp up against the right field wall last time up. So really, after all that drama in the 7th inning, the Nats and the Dodgers simply traded runs. Washington still leads by 3.
Well, you're going to see a lot of matchups in September. In matchup baseball with the extended rosters, the big bullpens.
The Dodgers on their 5th pitcher.
It's not just guys for the Nats that you're calling up to see what they can do. You're in a pennant race, and you have guys that already are established here a little bit with Trinan and Aaron Barrett. Guys are really going to contribute some meaningful innings in big games.
Garcia got away with a high slider because it was high enough. And that's a check swing that goes into the 3rd deck here.
He's even got popped backwards.
With about 1/4 of a swing.
I mean, it went all the way to the 3rd deck. Drop down frisbee right there at 81.
Ramos waits for the breaking ball. Backhand Ramirez, turned by Gordon. A 6-4-3 double play by D. Gordon with Bryce Harper wrapped all around him.
Yeah, once that ball is caught, it's a double play unless Bryce Harper breaks it up. With Wilson Ramos' speed and him watching out for his hamstrings, anything he hits on the ground is a double play unless the runner can break it up. And I don't know if Gonzalez's foot was on the bag right there. Matt Williams has a challenge in his back pocket, and he's coming out, and that was a great breakup slide that Bryce Harper ran on D. Gordon. And they're going to review it, and based on that last replay I saw, I don't know if Gonzalez's foot was on the bag.
And you remember that the last one was an umpire's challenge because of the possible block of home plate,
which I still don't get. Ooh. Well, it depends on where the ball was in relationship to his glove. It's hard to tell.
He was pawing at the back there. Kind of interesting for Gonzalez to be in that position on a play that took that long. They're going to call him out on the 6-4-3.
Good slide by Bryce, so that's how he played the game.
Asdrubal Cabrera, home run walk, 2 runs scored tonight. His home run was the one that kind of turned things around for the offense. Down by a run, Kemp had hit the 2-run homer in the first. He got Gio back even. Span got him on top. And Gonzalez wouldn't give up a run until the 7th inning. Nate Scherholtz, 4. Matt Thornton on deck. That ball launched high in the air to right. Feeling his way is Kemp, and he's got it right at the scoreboard.
It's nighttime now. That's how they carry.
Tale of 2 ballparks. Damage early. Fly ball outs now. Cabrera can't believe it.
Six to 3 Nationals. Denard Span, couple of taters. Jason Worth had 1, 2. Gio Gonzalez doing a nice job, but Matt Williams pressing all the right buttons so far. He didn't hesitate to go to his bullpen. Gio Gonzalez gave up a couple of knocks to start up the 7th inning. Brought Drew Storn in, got A.J. Ellis to line out to Denard Span. Then he brought in Matt Thornton with the high cheese to get Justin Turner. So the skipper making all the right moves, and Tyler Clippard on to face the Dodgers here in the bottom of the 8th.
D. Gordon, Hanley Ramirez, Adrian Gonzalez for the Dodgers in the 8th. All-star pitching like one down the stretch. A couple of home runs given up 2 weeks ago, but getting things right again. 3 runs ahead setup situation here in the 8th against 3 quality hitters. And as you see his numbers, D. Gordon is 0 for 4 against him with a strikeout. Fly ball strikeout, couple of ground balls in his career against Tyler Clippard. This at bat may set the tone for the rest of the game. 80, the changeup slips right by his bat.
With Franzen on the grass, Rendon on the grass. Even Ian Desmond cheating up at shortstop. Cabrera cheating in too. That's what speed will do to you. Both middle infielders playing double play depth with nobody on against D. Gordon. Cabrera cheating up for the bunt. Desmond just cheating up because anything hit softly to him will be a base hit.
Almost sets a target right down the middle for Clippard. And look at the snap on that curveball. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. On D. Gordon, 30 extra base hits, 55 steals. Davey Lopes, his first base coach, and Juan Pierre. The other Dodgers that have done that since the late 50s, and they came out here from Brooklyn.
Well, Davey as good as it gets when he was a player at stealing bases, but even better, I think, as a coach when you talk to guys that have played for him, Jason Worth, and what he teaches you as a base stealer, just little tricks, little tips on getting jumps, getting leads, when to go, when not to go. And you take a guy like D. Gordon and you put him under a guy like Davey Lopes. Now you got something. You have a guy with experience that will show you the way. And then once you get it, you take the training wheels off, give him the green light, and let him go. And that's what they've done.
Sure loved talking baseball with him when he was on our staff. He did that, by the way, those numbers, Davey Lopes, twice, 74 and 75. 2-2 pitch, fastball. And Cabrera gets in by an eyelash at first. As Drubal never panicked on the play. That internal clock we've talked about, it was ticking for him.
Well, he's made a lot of flashy plays. This may have been the most solid play as Drubal Cabrera has made since he has become a national, based on how far he had to go for that ball, throwing across his body and the speed of the runner all into account. So the ball not hit hard. He had to go 4 or 5 steps up the middle, throwing across his body to get one of the fastest players in the game. Shortstop arm strength was the difference right there on the play for Cabrera. Got rid of it quick, but with something on it to get Gordon by a step.
Here's Hanley Ramirez, and he's up there hacking.
That's why anybody that says you don't need a strong arm to play second, you're crazy.
Well, up the middle, the shifts teams are playing now.
Flat-footed double plays. I mean, you need a good arm to play second.
Hanley Ramirez is 3 for 14 career with a walk against Tyler Clippard.
A lot of guys jump on that play, and if you do, Gordon's safe. You know, when you're leaning so far forward in the backhand, you jump up in the air. The time it takes you to jump and throw on that, and the velocity on the baseball is safe for Gordon. The fact that Cabrera stayed on his feet and had a base to make that throw, even though he was going away, was very impressive.
0-2, and Clippard shows him the fastball away. Ramirez 0 for 3 tonight, couple of ground balls, and a strikeout by Gio. Splitter, 84.
It was. I think he crossed up Wilson Ramos. Peanuts are in the playoffs, and they're going to win it all. Go cheer them on to the Mills Cup. They have home field advantage throughout the first round. That's September 3rd through 5th. So go out to the Fitz in Woodbridge. Cheer them on. For tickets and playoff schedule information, go to PotomacNationals.com or call that number that used to be on your screen.
They don't win. FP will eat his telescope.
I'm already having digestive problems. We just got to the lens cap.
Big out to get right here on 2-2. And Clippard holds on to the changeup. It's low. Well, decision time. You're up by 3. Do you challenge Hanley Ramirez with a heater?
Yeah, absolutely. Mine's not very good, though.
And he throws him a changeup, gets a check swing. Cabrera throws out Hanley Ramirez. How about that? He tried to put the skids on it. It wasn't a cartoon.
Well, I know what Hanley Ramirez was thinking. A 3-run ball game. He's going to challenge me right here. He throws 93. Same thing I'm thinking up here. And when he realizes it's a changeup, it's too late. He's thinking, that's a no, it's a changeup, and he can't hold up. You know, as a hitter, you take into account the situations of ball games, and that dictates what pitch you're looking for. Ramirez was looking fastball, and Clippard tricked him with the change. Nicely done.
Well, if you don't get a fastball there, you're never going to get one. 3-run game. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, and Clippard throws the hook. Adrian against Tyler, 1 for 6 career with a base on balls and 2 strikeouts.
I can't tell you how many times I heard hitters come back to the dugout in situations like that and say, challenge somebody. Throw somebody a fastball. You hear it all the time. And all the pitchers down the corner be giggling because they got you out.
I'm supposed to throw you what you're expecting?
Yes, that would be the argument in the dugout and the clubhouse all the time. Because in a hitter's mind, that's not manly. You're not being manly unless you throw me a fastball in a fastball count.
That was a pretty good changeup on 1-0. Clippard didn't get the call. So he goes with another one. And Gonzalez way out ahead.
But in the pitcher's mind, from their standpoint,
pretty manly to get out.
Yeah, it's pretty manly to get out to get back in the dugout. So I see both sides of the argument. And I may or may have not said that myself a few times.
That's a fastball away, and Cabrera is going to be the defensive whiz of the inning. 41,857 tonight watching the Nats take care of the Dodgers so far. And Kershaw. Doug and Clayton should be some matchup. Zister's 12-5. He'll be making his 21st start. Clayton Kershaw is 16-3 with the best ERA for a starter on the planet Earth. He'll be making his 23rd start. And the leagues are hitting $195 against Kershaw. Hey, you win tonight, you get some offense going, some confidence, you'll take your chances against the lefty tomorrow. Good luck with it, but you're feeling a whole lot better if you take game one.
For every Nationals walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nationals have drawn 430 walks for $21,500. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Rookie Yimi Garcia still in there pitching, and Nate Scherholtz gets the pinch hitting assignment, top of the ninth. checked in with his first Nationals hit yesterday, a home run to right center at Safeco Field, and he takes that one outside. Got a starting nod yesterday, went 1 for 4 and went 1 for 8 in the Seattle series. It's a live bat off the bench who's hit into some bad luck already. Breaking ball, Frisbee's back in. How about another look at that swing? Third inning yesterday.
Well, he's made an adjustment in his stance, but even more so where his hands are. They're up around his helmet and they're freed up. When he was with the Cubs, he kind of had his hands in his back armpit, and they were behind his body. So the only thing you can do when your hands are behind your body is kind of cast out and come around the baseball. A lot of ground outs to the right side. So the first thing Rick Shue did was free up his hands and get him right around his helmet, so you just fire him straight to the baseball. Mike Rizzo noticed that before they signed him, and he's made the adjustment. He's had some good at-bats, not a lot to show, but it's a much more free and easy swing. He even admits so. He likes it.
Fastball up. Pitcher knocks it down with a bare hand and able to complete the play. Denard Span. In case you were working into the evening on Labor Day, 2-home run night.
Yeah, in case you missed it, second time of his career. First one in the third inning, home run number 3. Second one in the 5th inning, home run number 5. Scatter in the bullpen down there. Heads up, boys. Denard Span, power hitter tonight here at Dodger Stadium.
He's hit the ball hard 3 times. Lined out to Adrian Gonzalez first time up. A little pigeon-toed setup that FP showed us a couple of weeks ago with that front foot. Keeps him locked in there, and a breaking ball for a strike.
In case you missed it, it keeps your front hip closed until the last second. Hips fly open, shoulder goes next, head follows, and you create a weak swing. But you remember when Denard Span just came over here last year in the beginning, he was just flipping little flares to left field. They've changed his whole stance, his whole approach, and they told him to start catching the ball out front, start driving the ball. Then you see all the extra base hits this year. He's Span now. When he first got here, he was Denard.
You know, Davey Johnson had Desmond do that a couple of years ago. Your guy with some strength, pull the ball.
Sometimes you get caught up in, I'm a leadoff hitter, I just need to get singles to get on base. But he's a strong individual, as he's shown here tonight. There's the toe, which closes the hip, which closes the front shoulder, and then hopefully everything opens up on time.
I'm going to try that at the driving range. Right side, it's Gonzalez. To Garcia, the young man's major league debut going well so far. Rendon next.
Well, I'm saying the sale only has a few minutes left, but it's the Labor Day sale where you can save 50% off and get MLB.com at-bat premium for only $4.99. What a deal. Follow every Nationals game with live look-ins, replays, live broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store. Sale ends soon.
Good to see Blake Trinan back in the big leagues today.
Like in about 54 minutes.
Lake will pitch if the Nats add on a run here. Soriano if it remains a safe situation. Anthony Rendon 2 for 4. He's gone oppo twice. Base hit to right, stolen base. Second time up in the third. Opposite field double RBI and a steal of third in the 7th inning.
Got a hanger right there and fouled it off. He wants it back.
Big frisbee breaking ball.
Odds that I hear this noise in my head tonight when I get back to the hotel. Pretty good.
It's a pounding headache for 9 innings here. Another breaking ball. Well, the kid's got some big league stuff. He pitches 2 scoreless innings in his major league debut against a pretty hot offense. The bullpen is empty. Oh my gosh. 3 outs to get. There it is. to do in LA before this one is over. The Dodgers will have 4-5-6 due up in the bottom of the ninth against Rafael Soriano, who saved one of the 3 games these ball clubs matched up for in D.C. back in May. That was the rubber game of the series when he saved it for Steven Strasburg. So going with a fastball 73% of the time.
And coming off a nice outing in Seattle, I thought his command was great. I know there was a few base runners in the ninth inning of his last save, but he was down the zone for the most part, and he was staying away on the outer half to most every hitter.
With more on Soriano, let's check in with Dan.
Guys, this kind of plays off of the note that I had earlier about Tanner Roark taking care of his body in between starts. Rafael Soriano, since 2009, has employed a personal masseuse who he travels everywhere the team goes. He pays for a hotel room for that masseuse and gets 1 to 2 massages a day. He says that it's something that he feels is very important and it's prolonged his career. Drew Storen says that it's a wise move. He says that as a pitcher, you need to invest in your body, invest in yourself. Not many guys go to the lengths that Soriano does in terms of having a guy travel with the team everywhere that they go. But it's something that Soriano has really come to like. He thinks that it helps him a lot.
Well, here we go. No wonder he's so relaxed all the time. Fastball up. Matt Kemp, 2 for 3 tonight against Gio with a 2-run homer, a single 2-run score. Kemp career against Soriano, 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. And he can't catch up with the sneaky 92.
With some serious cut at the end.
Fastball again, 93.
Good life, good movement.
Another fastball, and Matt Kemp is down.
Well, that was just some good old-fashioned country hardball. You usually don't see that with Soriano, but 92, 93, and 93 all past Matt Kemp.
You know, you just wonder if certain nights he comes out of the bullpen and he says, I've got a fastball going tonight, so let's throw it until something bad happens. I mean, that was impressive.
Got a good massage today.
Whew. Couple of them. And here's Scott Van Slyke, 1 for 3. Van Slyke facing Soriano for the first time. Slider, slowed down his bat. Denard Span. So Van Slyke sitting in the on-deck circle, seeing all those fastballs. Got a slide piece, 2 outs. It'll be up to Puig.
I just never a big fan of teams down by 3 swinging at the first pitch, or not taking a strike. You need base runners at this point. If you hit one into the parking lot, it doesn't matter. You need base runners.
Yasiel Puig career against Soriano, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Nats trying to get back to 20 over 500 and get that game back on Atlanta. The Braves were no hit by 4 Phillies pitchers today. Possibility of a 7-game lead again, with 26 games to go after tonight. And he misses with the fastball away, 2-0.
Well, it's going to get to that point very quickly if the Nats keep winning and taking care of their own thing. It's more about days off the calendar and days off the schedule more than anything.
Center cut, and they still can't catch up with the heater. 2-1. So if the Nats win, it's 7 up on Atlanta, 11 up on Miami. It would also give them a game over the Dodgers in the win column for the best record in the league. It's another thing to think about going down the stretch. Here's the cutter. It goes outside, 3-1.
And the Brewers are fading fast in the Central. That's anybody's race.
They're out of first place. They lost their 6th in a row today. And now the Pirates are only a game behind them. Saw where the A's added Adam Dunn, former Nat, over the weekend. 3-1 pitch. Did Puig go? No swing. He's aboard. Kind of interesting. Soriano, such great command. First 2 at bats, kind of lost it there. He'll face Juan Uribe.
It seems like at times Soriano really presses, I guess is the nicest way to say it, for that third out. And get the first 2 and then really start to grind to get that third out.
Uribe 0 for 4 career against Soriano with 2 strikeouts. Dodgers need 1 more base runner. Nats will give Puig second base. All that matters is the strike call. And if this inning continues, the Dodgers will hit for their catcher A.J. Ellis with Carl Crawford.
Thought they might go with Peterson.
Well, maybe Crawford 3 for 6 career against Soriano influences that thinking. For Don Mattingly and Tim Wallach.
PCL Player of the Year with 30 home run pop.
Oh, a big time slider by Soriano. One of the sharpest he's thrown all year.
Great pitch.
Peterson. Jock Peterson, J-O-C.
Probably get a start tomorrow. Center fielder with lots of pop.
And Uribe with a towering fly ball out of play. Nationals trying to get their road record. 2 games over 500. Trying to make this a 3-4 road trip. Nasty slider. It hits the bag. Puig will score, and it's a 6-4 game. So no 1-2-3 inning tonight for Soriano, and he will deal with Carl Crawford, who's had career success against him.
So going Crawford for Ellis and Peterson in the pitcher spot. And what knew? This one just got interesting.
Uribe's a tough out late in the ball game. Carl Crawford, as we mentioned, 3 for 6 career against Soriano. All 3 singles. Fastball up and away. Crawford this year 5 homers, 30 RBIs. He's 1 for 11 as a pinch hitter. About a fourth of the 41,000 still here, making lots of noise. Fastball right down the middle, 92. He couldn't get it. Good cut on that one. That's within a strike again. Ball fading away, that's a base hit. The tying run is on base. Uribe all the way to third, and now we'll see the power hitting rookie, Jock Peterson.
Well, you also got a stolen base in Carl Crawford at first. A potential stolen base. So 2 outs, nobody on, a walk, a base hit, and a base hit.
Coming to the plate for the Dodgers.
And out of nowhere, you guessed it, drama.
Number 65, John Peterson.
So here's Peterson. First at bat in the big leagues. What a spot. So as FP said, MVP of the Pacific Coast League's Rookie of the Year. Made the All-League team. And he was the fourth player of the 112-year history of that league to hit 30 home runs and steal 30. Now you have to be with a really good major league club to do that and not get called up until now. So here he goes.
That might have been just a scouting report trip from Steve McCatty and to slow things down. But this is where Randy Norris is going to have to be at his best again, because you have to keep Carl Crawford close at first. You can't let him steal right here.
Short lead by Crawford. Fastball up.
It's an overthrow.
Carl Crawford, 21 steals and 26 attempts.
Peterson, a very patient hitter, walked over 100 times in AAA. I don't know how patient you are in your first big league at bat, though.
Yeah. Run in, 2 men aboard. This all started with a 2-out walk to Yasiel Puig.
So we have to talk to yourself, say trust your stuff, make a pitch. Soriano trying to slow things down.
That's a pretty good sound if it's foul for the Nats. Wow.
Well, you got an idea, the bat speed and the power in a foul ball.
He may not be wearing number 65 next year.
First big league swing, he was trying to walk this thing off.
Boy, that's dangerous to the pull side, isn't it?
He got it far enough in that he couldn't keep it fair, but yeah.
That is at the knee, strike 2. Huge call. The difference between 3 and 1 and an even count.
Now it's a good pitch. He was looking in. He's trying to shoot him out of here. And that's what he's thinking right now. He's jacked up out of his mind. It's his first big league at bat. He wants to be the hero. 22 years old. What else would you be thinking right here?
Soriano buried the slider here with a runner at third. That run doesn't mean anything. He does. Ramos the block, and now it's 3 and 2. And this gives Crawford a head start at first. 27th out, hard to get on the road.
It's been hard to get all year.
Three-2 to the rookie. Got him looking. He thought he had walked. The game is over.